she's making this video YouTube content, and she's playing a character who's making YouTube content. And I was like, what the heck am I watching? Here we are in our body, in this reality, and all we want to do is escape it. There's something going on even further behind the scenes. Hi, beautiful souls. Welcome to another episode of Soul Awakening with Shantia. So in today's episode, we're going to be talking about how we're actually a sim character in a simulation in a video game, and why I specifically was inspired to refer to it as being a sim. We're also going to be diving into the divine law, understanding how that works. What are the benefits to understanding or embracing this idea that we're a sim character? And we're also going to be talking about the trappings of reality and how it gets us caught on the hamster wheel. If you haven't already, go ahead and check out my previous episodes. In one episode, I discuss staying relaxed, calm, and chill, staying unbothered in life, and living life with more contentment and peace in your heart. So if you feel like you're struggling with tuning into the energy of contentment, I would recommend that you watch that video. Or go ahead and check out the previous episode before that, where I talk about how God has no favorites and why we are designed the way that we're designed. I'm trying to remember the title of the podcast because I know that wasn't the title, but it was essentially about, understanding the two paths of desire. The two paths of desire. Either we're called to more of a materialistic lifestyle and focusing on the external, or we're called more to focusing on our inner world. And that's essentially what this podcast is about. This is about the soul awakening. This is about the richness of our inner world. That is the true existence of reality, I believe. Also, I created the Saturn in Pisces video part 1. I plan on uploading part 2 soon. Either I would have uploaded it before this or after this. I'm not really sure. But I'm trying to get together all of the videos, and oh my gosh, I'm like, I might as well make this into a 5-part series, because I put together the slideshow and it ended up being like 14 slides. And I'm like, that's not even counting what I plan on saying about the movie, The Count of Monte Cristo and The Little Princess, what I wanted to discuss. And then there are a million ideas flooding my mind, and I was like, okay, I can't. Obviously, I'm just going to have to break it down into future videos, because obviously Saturn in Pisces is going to be there for some time. And we also have other planetary placements that are there that I can discuss and refer to in future videos. So I hope you guys are enjoying the Vedic Astrology videos, and I plan on making many, many more. Okay, let's go ahead and dive into I'm trying to look at my notes, but I'm like, can I see it? Let's go ahead and dive into talking about today's topic. I was putting together the thumbnail for the next Saturn in Pisces video part 2. And hint, hint, the word that came through, I don't know when I'm posting this podcast, but the word that came through was rags to riches. And I was like, rags to riches, perfect. And then I'm looking down at my phone. I look down at my phone and I scroll down and it says rags to riches. And it's a sim. It's someone streaming them playing a sim video or a sim game. And I was like, whoa, that's weird. I don't watch people playing video games. It's not really my thing. But there it was on my feed. So I clicked it because I was like, maybe I'm supposed to see this. But synchronicity happens for me all the time, and it's happening for us all the time. It's just, are you paying attention? That's the question. So I go ahead and I scroll down and I watch it, and he's just playing a video game. And I didn't really have the patience. I was like, okay, what is he doing? I honestly don't know. He was just doing stuff in the video game, and it was just kind of boring to me. So I just clicked out. And then the next day, another sim video, stream video pops up on my feed, and this is more of my vibe. So it's this girl, it's a black girl, and she's playing a character, or her character. It showed the picture of her character doing things, building something or creating something, creating a life. I don't remember what the title was, but I clicked it because I liked the colors and I liked the thumbnail, and I was like, okay, something's going on, and I click it, and then slowly I started to feel my mind being blown. So in the video that I was watching, the YouTube stream video that she posted on her YouTube account, she's playing a character, a sim character, who makes YouTube content, who's making social media content. She's playing a game. She's making this video YouTube content, and she's playing a character who's making YouTube content. And I was like, what the heck am I watching? This is what people do, is they spend hours and hours getting lost in a different fantasy reality when they can be like living their life. But here's the thing, the character was based off of how she looked. Obviously the sim characters are more perfect and they have this convenience of being able to do more of what they want. But she just spent that entire hours like modifying her space, living in her space in the sim character, going to sleep, going to the bathroom, waking up, talking with her partner in the video game. And then her character, in order for her to make money so that her character could buy things, to do things in the game, she would have to create social media content or make something and try to sell it or sell plants or something. So we're all sim characters. I was like, oh my God. We are reality TV stars. We're all reality TV stars. We're all Truman in the Truman Show. And this simulation that we live in, it's based off of certain expectations or rules where it's like, okay, in order for us to make money, you got to do this. So we're just constantly on the hamster wheel living our life. And it's just crazy to me that people play video games where they do that. But we're just doing what we know how to do. We're obsessed with ourselves. We're obsessed with convenience, and we like the fantasy. The way I also like to think of it is that people who have a lot of money, like they use their life to escape, right? They can just spend things and do things and whatever. They get to like renovate their kitchen every year and travel here and do this and do that. And they're constantly doing that. If you watch a reality TV show, that's what people are doing. They're just constantly doing things. They're filling in their schedule. People who don't have as much money, they escape through books. They escape through TV. They escape through movies. They escape through video games, social media. So it just depends on how you see it, and it depends on what resources you have available to you. By the end of the day, it's all about escapism. Here we are in our body, in this reality, and all we want to do is escape it and experience some sort of convenience of the sort. And this is the trajectory that life is going in. This is how you could say the dark forces, shadow forces, or deception works. It gets us caught on the hamster wheel of thinking we're just this character, and we're here to just keep, eat, sleep, use the bathroom, work, eat, sleep, use the bathroom, work. Like, we're just here to live life on repeat unless you tune into the knowledge. I sat there for about 20 minutes and I watched her play this sim game. And I thought to myself, I'm watching her play herself in a video game. Is this how God or the divine life force is watching us and witnessing us? Yeah, I think so. We're all, instead of us being artificial technology, AI, we're OI, we're organic technology. And at some point, what helps us to liberate ourselves, just like in all of the robot films you've ever seen, is becoming self-aware OI, realizing that this reality isn't it. Okay, there's something going on even further behind the scenes. And as we get curious and we dive into that well of knowledge, we start to break through different layers of Maya. So Maya, I don't know if it's 7. I think Maya is broken down into 7 different layers, or I think it's called koshas. Rudolf Steiner also likes to refer to in anthroposophy our different layers of bodies. Like we have our mental body, our astral body, our physical body, all of these different bodies. So it tied me into the Maya. And essentially, in order for us to break free of the Maya into pure consciousness, we have to practice discernment and use the knowledge and welcome experiential wisdom. So we apply the knowledge, and this is where we tap into experiential wisdom. So the whole part of us playing the video game, we're having fun in the video game, is for us to become self-aware OI. So it's not like in a movie where when you become aware of what you are and that you're in this false reality, all of a sudden it just, you die and you go to heaven or something, or you just jump into a new reality. No, you're still here. You're still in this body, experiencing this illusionary life. It's just now you're self-aware. right? This is what they call enlightenment. You're self-aware. And why would what's the point, right? What's the point of us waking up? Well, when you become self-aware, right, you go on this whole journey to experience consciousness. You get to experience the reward and the treasure of that peace and that power. You become empowered because now you know who and what you are. And I used to always love saying that. I don't just want to know who I am. I want to know what I am, because the who ties me to the personality. The who ties me to my birth chart of, okay, these are my limitations of how I'm here to exist. But beyond that is what I am. And what I am is I'm organic technology. I'm consciousness walking this earth, experiencing a character. We are here to play a role. But here's the thing. Once you're able to break free of the illusion of the false reality, you have certain abilities and capabilities and accessibility that you didn't have before. So I talked about it in my previous podcast episode when I discussed not working a job for 2 years. That was me putting the matrix to the test. I wanted to see what would happen, but I was prompted by my guides and the divine and intuition and prayer and meditation to take that leap of faith. By myself, believing in just this physical body and this physical reality, I couldn't do it because that would be terrifying. That would be reckless. That would be irresponsible. I'd be breaking the human expectations that I've been taught my entire life. But slowly, the divine started to re-educate me and teach me about the divine laws. And what they taught me, slowly but surely, is that the divine law supersedes human laws and expectations. So I'm not trying to break laws here and do reckless things. That's not the point. By the end of the day, you operate by divine law. The divine law asks you to be kind. It asks you to be helpful, to be honest. So we're not going out there committing reckless acts just because we're self-aware OI. Then you're not self-aware. Because through the process of becoming self-aware, you become detached and you become internally peaceful. The reason why we cause reckless acts and harm and we re-traumatize each other is because we're lacking in our self-awareness. The reason we're causing havoc in this world is because we're deeply dissatisfied with ourselves. So through the process of spirit re-educating us, we start to tune into this deep satisfaction within us. And we start to really love ourselves and love life and accept it. Beyond that, accept it. Accept our shadow side. Accept that we're in this reality. And in that Saturn and Pisces video part 2, I'm going to be talking specifically or referring to it specifically as the prison. The prison. We're here to experience some sort of labyrinth, quest, or prison that we're here to break free of. That's the empowering part. We want to know, how can I feel the most powerful I've ever felt in my life? And the only way you're going to be able to do that is to break free of the illusion of reality. This has nothing to do with manifesting everything that you want in your life. Celebrities are a perfect example of that. But the divine will lure you in with desire. They'll lure you in, whether that's a desire for knowledge or a desire for things or more abundance. They'll lure you in. They will tempt you. But on your journey to learning more about yourself, you'll start to see, oh, I actually have to be a good person. Like, I actually have to help people and help myself. I actually have to take accountability. I can't just recklessly do anything. And I can't even pretend to want things anymore, because I realize that the reason why I want things is because I want to feel happy. And truly, all I have to do is go inward to feel happy, to tune in, to find balance, contentment within myself, to access that. I don't have to get things to feel happy. So I see people make those videos all the time where they keep talking about manifesting and things and things and things. Your unhappiness comes from your attachment to needing and wanting things. There's nothing wrong with having things. There's nothing wrong with buying things or accessing things. But needing it and wanting it, craving it, is creating misery for you. And so what God asks you to do, divine asks you to do, is be content with what you have. Otherwise, you're never going to truly be happy. Or your happiness is dependent on external situations and circumstances, which means that your happiness is not stable. It's not connected to the core truth. You can rock the boat quite easily and shake your happiness away. If someone just brings a negative circumstances into your life, there you go, unhappy again. So where is the power if you've given your power to something outside of yourself? You've given away your power, essentially. The universe also asks for us to think about how we use our time, or even to think beyond time. So in the previous video, I talked about don't worry about it. And I absolutely believe in that. You know, it's so funny going through this shift. I was constantly told by people who cared about me that I was wasting my life and I was wasting my time and time was running out. But I looked at how these people lived their life. They surrounded themselves with materialism and excess, a plethora of stuff, and they're still unhappy in their job, in their relationships, in life in general. And they self-medicate through alcohol. So, you know, look at the people who are telling you you're not doing anything with your life. Just observe them, not to judge them. I really see it just as like something simple, because people are complex. They can be kind and generous and yet highly dysfunctional in other ways. So it's not about judging, because I'm like, I ain't perfect either. My personality ain't perfect, and most certainly makes lots of mistakes in life. But I do observe, and I do like to pay attention to people's patterns. So this person who self-medicates and goes to external materialism to feel good, and they surround themselves, they overly indulge, not just indulge, they overly indulge in it. And this person is telling me that I'm wasting my life and I'm running out of time. Isn't that interesting? But we all have that inner voice in ourselves that's saying the same thing. So that lets me know where that voice is coming from. Does it care about me? No. It's just running on the hamster wheel of fear. And when we're able to see that we're a sim character in a game, we're no longer run by the system of fear. We're no longer run by the human expectations. The divine law tells us that we are supported and that we will be taken care of no matter what. And it's so interesting because sometimes you see people, they teach spirituality, but they don't put it to practice. They still are run by their fear system. What happens if you just surrendered it? The universe is going to show you how this reality works, and I'm still learning. You know, as I'm tuning into what is the real truth, I'm still seeing how things unfold. What my guides tell me all the time to do is to trust. Trust, trust, trust. And there's so many times where I felt like I was going to get in trouble. You know, like when you're a kid, think about when you're a kid and you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to get in trouble. I kept feeling like that these past few years, couple years. I kept feeling like someone is going to like punish me. I'm going to get in trouble. I was afraid of the punishment, of the negative consequences. But the way things unfolded, the way that I was supported, tells me that when you truly follow your heart, there are different consequences that unfold. If you follow the material world, that's tied to a certain set of consequences too. And those consequences they make you reactive. So you're in a constant state of flux and reactivity. Even in astrology videos where people are like, oh, war and all this stuff is going to, I'm like, what's the point of that? If I'm not tuning in and I'm not finding my center, my balance, and I'm listening to things that are producing and reproducing fear, what is the purpose of this? When my guides say not to have fear, this is an illusion. So why on earth would I give my attention to something that's here to reproduce fear? Why would I consume things that are here to reproduce fear? But it's the Maya, right? We get caught up in it all the time. I see how people, Reddit is not my favorite place. Just the way that people, opinions left and right, people are reacting left and right all the time. Sometimes I just want to know how people are thinking. And even on Reddit, like, people are so reactive to all kind of situations and things going on. And sometimes I just want to know, like, what is this person thinking? And I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have asked or gone down that rabbit hole, because now I can see everyone's just upset and reactive. And that's the society we live in these days. People are very open with their opinions, their beliefs, and their ideas, and it's going to become more and more so. But as we're getting more freedom of expression, we're also being reckless with it, careless with it, as humans are. The tantrum, the childish part in us, the immature part of us that's always throwing the ego, that's always throwing a tantrum. You see that when we're given a freedom of expression, how we abuse it, how we use it as an opportunity to hurt people, to blame people, to shame people, and ourselves included. So, are we learning how to be responsible with our energy and our time? Another thing I was thinking about is, okay, for a sim character in this game, people are talking about, oh, you're co-creating your reality, you can control it. I honestly don't believe that we need to. Because the whole part of the game is to become self-aware. You don't need to control your reality. You don't need to. You don't need to control it. You don't need to know everything that's going on. The divine is just going to give you hints. They're going to hint. And often the things that come through, it's advice. It's knowledge. They're always telling me to work on myself. They're not telling me about my future necessarily. They always, it's almost like dangling a little fruit in front of you. They're always dangling something. They're always like, hey, look what you can get if you put this work in. Because they know how we work. They know we crave as humans, and you can't just turn your craving off. But it doesn't have to control you. I actually craved working. I craved money while not making money and not working. I craved it. I was like starving for it. I was crying. About not working. I don't know how many hours I put into it. A lot. Enough tears to fill a bathtub easily. I just spent so many days crying in misery at not being able to work. And, the reason why I didn't is because I know how to use my intuition at this point, and I know how to speak to my guides, and I know how to speak to the divine, and I can hear them clearly. And they're always like, trust, you're good. And I'm just like, what? How? Logically, this doesn't make any sense. Reason-wise, this doesn't make any sense. And they tell you that there's something that surpasses reason, and it's God. It's pure consciousness. It's that strong life force energy that created us. It surpasses all human expectations and laws and reason. Our mind is part of that layer of consciousnness. Maybe I'll post a picture of the layers of consciousness here. But our mind is one of those layers, but you have to break through into discernment using that knowledge, applied knowledge, and it becoming wisdom. And the wisdom says you live in an illusion. You are a reality TV star, and you don't know everything that's going to happen on every day. You're not designed to. You're actually designed to embrace the mystery and flow with it and trust it. It's like becoming a baby again. The baby begins to trust. Like the baby just allows himself to be taken care of by its mommy and daddy. Mommy and daddy do everything for it. That's what it's like becoming reborn again. Your soul designed your life. Your soul designed your life. You know why people go to predictions? You know why we go to predictions, why we go to the cards, why we go to the channelers? Is because we're scared. We're afraid of the mystery. We're afraid of war breaking out. How many of those people actually were in a war? Most of us are experiencing our own inner war. We're too busy with what's going on in here and overcoming our own fears and obstacles to get into fights with other people and countries. If there is anyone who's encouraging you to embrace like a fear mentality, just really think about that. A lot of the content that people like to consume is dopamine. It's just dopamine. It's addiction. We want instant answers. I talk about the same thing, soul awakening, every podcast because I'll never get sick of it because I can see it from a million perspectives. I'll never get sick of it. There's a million ways to approach this topic. We gradually are giving our energy to these experiences. We're gradually learning to trust and embracing the truth. It's a slow, gradual process. So yes, you are a sim character, you are in a reality TV show, but you are here to become self-aware OI. And that self-awareness is going to help bring you peace and contentment in your life. You're going to realize that you can trust everything. And it's cool to know the subtle predictions or shifts that are going on in the world because I love studying that stuff. I'm obsessed with knowing what I am and who I am every day. That's why people go on social media, on Instagram, they take all those selfies and pictures. They play video games where they create a character based off of themselves because we are self-obsessed. And that self-obsession, actually, underneath it is a deep curiosity about reality. You want to know and you want to connect with and you want to unite with that God source. You want to unite with it. That's why we look at pictures of ourselves and we study ourselves and it gets us closer and closer. But this physical world, everything about the physical world is an illusion. It comes down to the energy. It comes down to the knowledge and the wisdom of knowing what you are. It has nothing to do with the physical. My encouragement is for you to embrace your power. Embrace your power by embracing your peace and knowing that you can trust. And I had to think about it the other day. I was like, why am I so obsessed with this message? Why do some things upset me and then I just have to create a podcast and I have to talk about my perspective of it? And it's because I don't want people to suffer. I don't want people to keep suffering. I'm designed this way. I grew up trying to mediate my family because I didn't like the suffering. I didn't like the arguing. I didn't like the anger. I wasn't into it. I wanted peace. I wanted balance. And so I'm like, well, you know what? I guess lifelong calling and purpose here. My dad used to call me the diplomat. The diplomat. Yeah, I really have always just wanted to help people and help myself. And I'm like, I can't really help anyone unless I learn for myself how to break free of that suffering cycle. My earliest memories was me feeling sorry for myself. I remember all the time. Like just a little thing would happen. I would be so sensitive and I would get upset and I'd go into a corner and cry and just feel so sorry for myself until someone gave me attention. And they're like, are you okay? I honestly just liked feeling sorry for myself and I felt ignored. I felt ignored early on. One of my earliest memories and emotions I remember feeling was just feeling ignored. So always had that. Both of my parents have always been in my life, but I've always had that ignored feeling. And then I guess I kind of overcame it. Honestly, I think it happened maybe within the last 4 years or 5 years or so. I got over that. But it's still, we always have our little things, just little things here and there that we have to work on. But for the most part, I can work through it. Pay attention to yourself. Are you trying to escape reality? What are your behaviors? What are your patterns? We get caught up in indulging in the escapism. And that's the part we have to watch for, is the indulgement. But I think the more you wake up, honestly, those escapism tendencies start to fall away. And you're just not as interested. And that has been the case for me. I'm not really as interested. There are certain things I just can't see the same anymore. I watch it, I look at it, and I just don't enjoy it as much as I used to. But now what I try to look for is God's hand in everything. I'm like, oh, what do you think God's trying to teach us here? Because everything is in a creation of the divine, and everything is a hint. It's a hint, letting you know what you're here to do and how you're here to learn about it. So I love watching movies to understand the dynamic of, wow, look at God's hand in this movie. It's like so blatantly obvious here. Why do we always have to watch? Why do we love those movies? Every movie is about an arc, a character arc. It's about the character becoming strong in their character through some sort of obstacle or quest they had to go on. Every single time it's about that. And it's also about being flawed, being imperfect, and then getting back up. There's just so much hope. There's so much hope. You know, people get very pessimistic about life, and I'm like, how can you be pessimistic? There's literally a message of hope in everything that's designed and created, encouraging you to keep going, keep living. Keep going, keep living. Escapism or not, materialistic or not, sage versus celebrity, path of desire. Keep going. So if we can stop, judging and criticizing each other for a minute here and just look in the mirror, we can appreciate everyone and everything and see everyone and everything as a sign of progress for ourselves, honestly. Don't worry about the world and its progress and is the world progressing, and honestly, it doesn't really matter because everything is just designed to be what it is. That's the beautiful thing. You don't have to know everything, every detail about your life as a sim character. What is God going to do next? You can trust it. Whatever is going to happen next in your life is what's needed. And the more that you relax into it, everything can happen and flow with more ease. The thing that's making the ride so bumpy in life is here. It's the way that we're perceiving this experience. That's what's causing the rocky road, rocky experiences to life. It's because we're so focused on how we're reacting and how we feel about it. Oh, I'm so upset about this. And it's like, okay, can you learn how to let go of being upset about it so you can enjoy it? Everything. And then you're going to start feeling like the luckiest person in the world because you're going to see, wow, boy, am I supported. This is crazy. How did I miss this? It's pretty obvious. And that entitlement will fall away. That self-centeredness will fall away. So it's like, yeah, we become self-obsessed. We have to dive into ourselves, but then it helps us to break free of our self-delusions and illusions. All right, I'll see you guys next time for another episode in the podcast. Have a beautiful day or evening. Bye.